Welcome to Charette Theory. In today's episode, we invite you into a space where architectural innovation meets seasonal warmth. We're diving deep into the world of parametric interiors and exploring how the living room, a central stage of comfort and connection, can be reimagined for summer. Our focus is on the synergy between fluid design and natural light, expressed through organic forms, airy materials, and a design logic that responds to both spatial needs and seasonal rhythm. This is not just a tour of beautiful furniture and finishes, it's a story of how design adapts to the way we live, especially as the days grow longer, the sun hangs higher, and our homes crave lightness, openness, and a deeper connection to nature. Let's explore how parametric design principles blend with summer decor to create a living room that feels alive, fluid, and light. Parametric design is more than an aesthetic, it's a revolutionary approach to spatial design rooted in computation, data-driven processes, and algorithmic thinking. It's a method of generating architecture and interiors that is responsive, dynamic, and inherently flexible. Rather than relying on fixed forms or traditional symmetry, parametric design adapts to a space's needs through a system of mathematical parameters, height, light, movement, or environmental factors, which can all inform the final shape. In interior design, this methodology manifests in expressive, fluid geometries, shapes that mimic the elegance of nature. Imagine the soft arc of a river, the branching of trees, or the wave-like flow of sand dunes. These are forms that parametric interiors echo with intention. Walls become undulating partitions, ceilings twist and taper to draw the eye, and surfaces blend seamlessly with sculptural furniture. It feels futuristic but also deeply organic, as if the architecture was grown rather than built. For summer interiors, parametric design is especially compelling. Its sinuous lines resonate with the lightness of the season, offering a spatial language that speaks of warmth, openness, and continuity. The rigid rules of traditional structure dissolve, replaced by soft transitions and rhythmic undulations. It allows us to break free from architectural confinement, creating spaces that literally and figuratively breathe. Corners disappear into flowing walls. Sofas ripple like water across the floor. Bookshelves fold like origami into niches and recesses. Each form, from the smallest detail to the overall plan, becomes an animated extension of the home's summer rhythm. What makes parametric design even more extraordinary is its capacity for deep customization. Using advanced digital tools like Rhino, Grasshopper, and generative design software, designers can produce truly personalized elements, ones that respond precisely to the site, the user, and the moment. A shelf might curve around a beam instead of fighting it. A lighting fixture may adapt its shape based on ceiling height or daylight patterns. The design evolves not from arbitrary taste, but from need, from context, and from beauty that emerges through data. In this sense, the living room becomes more than a gathering place, it becomes a living organism. One that adapts to its inhabitants, reflects their rhythms, and amplifies the joy of the season. Parametric interiors in summer are not static, they are seasonal, breathing spaces, attuned to sun paths, air movement, and the invisible energies of life itself. They encourage us to see our homes not just as shelters, but as evolving ecosystems of light, form, and experience. One of the most visually striking applications of parametric design lies in the sculptural treatment of furniture and architectural surfaces. In the summer living room, these sculptural elements not only add visual intrigue but also contribute to a sense of airiness and fluidity that enhances the seasonal atmosphere. Imagine a sofa that curves like a river through the room, breaking away from traditional straight-line configurations to foster more relaxed, social interactions. Or a lounge chair that spirals like a seashell, offering comfort while echoing nature's formal logic. Wall features are equally expressive. Instead of static surfaces, consider three-dimensional wall panels that ripple in soft gradients, like wind-blown sand dunes or ocean waves frozen in time. These can be created using CNC milling techniques or mold panels designed through digital software. The result is a surface that transforms as sunlight moves across it throughout the day, bringing a kinetic quality to what would otherwise be inert. Wave-shaped shelving adds another layer of function and form. These aren't just storage units, they are compositional elements that guide the rhythm of the room. By undulating along a wall, they draw the eye while reinforcing the spatial narrative of movement and flow. Books, objects, and plants seem to float in place, becoming part of a living sculpture. When sculptural furniture and wall treatments follow a consistent parametric logic, they establish harmony within the room. Every curve responds to another, every angle softened by neighboring fluidity. Even the negative space, the air between pieces, feels intentional. The overall effect is immersive. It's as though you're stepping into a space shaped by wind, water, or melody. These sculptural forms are not simply aesthetic flourishes, they have psychological impact. Curves are known to reduce stress and promote comfort. In the context of a summer living room, where the goal is relaxation and connection, this design approach becomes emotionally supportive. The space invites you to linger, to stretch out, to unwind. Moreover, the ability to craft these elements with precision, using software like Rhino or Fusion 360 and digital fabrication methods, means that each form can be finely tuned to the specific proportions and purposes of the room. A bookshelf can expand or contract depending on wall length. A coffee table can dip and swell to match adjacent seating. These details enrich the space not only visually but experientially, making every moment in the room a dance between body, form, and atmosphere. Digital fabrication has revolutionized the way we create furniture. In the parametric summer living room, CNC-cut and modular furniture take center stage, not just for its sleek aesthetics but for its adaptability and precision. CNC, short for computer numerical control, allows designers to craft intricate curves, textures, and gradients with mathematical accuracy. This process can bring the fluid intentions of parametric design into physical form, translating data and pattern into wood, metal, and composites. Imagine a lounge chair cut from stacked plywood layers, each one varying subtly in profile to create a ripple effect reminiscent of sand or water. Or a modular coffee table composed of interlocking segments that can be rearranged depending on the occasion, gatherings, relaxation, or solar reflection. These designs look sculptural, but they are also functional and customizable. One of the key advantages of CNC-cut furniture is its lightness, both visually and physically. It often uses minimal material while achieving maximum impact. In summer, when we gravitate toward breezy, open interiors, this quality aligns beautifully with the seasonal mood. It also supports sustainable design. Many CNC pieces are created using plywood, bamboo, or recycled materials that are easy to source and shape. Modular parametric furniture adds another layer of versatility. These are pieces designed to evolve with the room. A sofa made of modular segments can curve, stretch, or divide based on the desired layout. A shelving unit might be composed of parametric tiles or repeating units that shift in height or depth, following the wall's contours. This flexibility makes it easy to refresh the space throughout the season. What ties all of this together is the sense of rhythm and repetition. Parametric furniture doesn't simply sit in a room, it interacts with it. Its forms echo the motion of light, the flow of people, and the invisible geometry of daily life. Through CNC-cut detail and modular intelligence, parametric furniture in summer becomes not only a design choice but a living element of the space, responsive, light, and deeply human. In a parametric summer living room, natural light isn't just a background element, it's a design partner. The flowing lines, soft curves, and organic forms of parametric interiors truly come alive when touched by sunlight. That's why open layouts and thoughtful use of sheer materials are essential for amplifying light and creating a dynamic, luminous atmosphere. Start by breaking down visual barriers. The fewer partitions and obstructions, the more light can move. Open-plan living rooms allow daylight to travel across surfaces uninterrupted, making parametric forms feel even more fluid. Opt for low-profile furniture, floating shelves, and built-ins that curve instead of jutting out, allowing light to circulate around and through the space. Windows are your greatest asset, maximize them. If you have floor-to-ceiling glass, let it breathe. Remove heavy drapery and replace it with sheer curtains in materials like linen, voile, or cotton gauze. These fabrics gently diffuse sunlight, softening the glare while maintaining a bright, uplifting interior. When they move in the breeze, they create a subtle, kinetic complement to the fixed curves of the room. Skylights and clear-story windows are also excellent tools in parametric design. Not only do they allow overhead light to bathe sculptural surfaces, but they also create an ever-changing play of shadow and glow throughout the day. As the sun shifts, these highlights dance across curved walls and contoured furniture, enhancing their dimensionality. Even the layout of furniture can influence how light is perceived. Avoid blocking windows with bulky seating or tall backs. Instead, allow furniture to embrace the light, curved sofas positioned to face or flow with natural openings, coffee tables with reflective or translucent surfaces, and lightweight pieces that don't anchor the space down. When you let natural light lead the design, it becomes the ultimate animator of the room, changing the tone from morning to afternoon to golden hour. In a parametric summer interior, light is not passive, it's performance. It glides across form, reveals detail, and turns architecture into a living, breathing canvas. Once natural light enters the room, the next challenge is directing and amplifying it. This is where reflective materials take the stage. In a parametric summer living room, materials aren't chosen just for texture or tone, they're selected for their interaction with light. By strategically placing surfaces that bounce, shimmer, or glow, the room becomes an immersive landscape of brightness and motion. Start with the floor and ceiling, which function as light reflectors just as much as boundaries. Polished concrete, light-toned hardwood, or terrazzo with a fine aggregate can subtly mirror light without creating glare. These finishes are especially powerful in open spaces where light moves freely across large planes. Walls and vertical elements offer additional opportunities. Consider satin or eggshell paint finishes in soft neutrals, these catch and diffuse light better than matte surfaces. Or go further with curved wall treatments made of plaster, gypsum, or even acrylic, which can refract sunlight and exaggerate shadow play across their undulating profiles. Then there's the furniture and accents. Opt for pieces that feel like light conductors. Glass-topped coffee tables, acrylic chairs, or metallic bases in chrome, brass, or brushed aluminum bring a subtle gleam to the room. These materials don't dominate the visual field, but they do enhance it, gently bouncing light into shadowed corners and across sculptural forms. Mirrored decor, when used thoughtfully, adds rhythm without chaos. Instead of a large wall mirror, consider mirror-polished trays, reflective wall art, or even light fixtures with mirrored interiors. These small reflective details reinforce the parametric aesthetic by emphasizing flow and light without breaking the harmony of organic shapes. Don't forget textiles. While not typically reflective, light-colored fabrics in silk, cotton sateen, or washed linen have a soft sheen that catches light beautifully. A white linen throw or a cream-colored pillow with a woven shimmer can bring life to even the coziest corner. Together, these materials transform the space into a kind of daylight amplifier. Reflection is not about brightness alone, it's about movement. It turns the room into a responsive surface, one that echoes every shift in the sky, every minute of the day. In summer, when light is abundant and long-lasting, this interaction becomes the essence of atmosphere. A parametric interior doesn't just hold light, it choreographs it. parametric interiors, especially during summer, color becomes the quiet architect of mood and perception. The choice of palette not only defines aesthetic tone but plays a key role in spatial experience. Light-toned colors, when used thoughtfully, can expand a room's perceived volume, enhance fluid forms, and amplify the effects of natural light. Start with a foundation of soft neutrals, think milky whites, warm ivories, sand beiges, dove grays, and pale stone. These hues reflect light rather than absorbing it, making every surface feel more open, more illuminated. They provide a blank canvas upon which parametric forms can subtly emerge, highlighted not through contrast, but through tone, shadow, and depth. Color in a parametric room should never feel flat. The architecture itself adds dimensionality. Curved walls painted in pale hues take on sculptural life as light glides across them, creating gradients, soft transitions, and layered shadow play. It's a minimalism that feels rich because it's shaped by light and geometry, not by ornament. Accent tones bring seasonal personality into this soft framework. For summer, consider a palette inspired by coastal landscapes and botanical freshness, ocean blues, eucalyptus greens, pale sage, warm sand, and sun-washed coral. These hues can be introduced in textiles, artwork, ceramics, or upholstery, acting like visual punctuation marks that energize without overwhelming. In parametric interiors, these color accents don't stand alone, they flow. A ripple of blue might appear in the gradient of a wall mural, echo in a curved cushion, and resolve in a low-slung vase on a modular table. The color story becomes a journey, moving with your eye and enhancing the organic spatial rhythm. Wood tones also matter. Lighter species such as white oak, ash, maple, or birch complement a summer parametric palette beautifully. These woods blend seamlessly into pale color schemes while adding a layer of warmth and grounding. When curved into custom furniture or architectural features, they bring a soft tactility that reinforces the idea of natural connection. Ultimately, a light-tone palette in a parametric summer interior isn't just about aesthetics, it's a strategy. It makes the space feel cooler in temperature, brighter in energy, and more spacious in perception. It supports the interplay between form and light, and it allows the design itself to speak in a quiet, confident tone. Summer becomes not just a season, but a sensation, held gently within every shade and surface. Color is memory. It evokes places, sensations, and seasons. For a parametric summer living room, the palette must reflect lightness, fluidity, and natural vitality, an atmosphere that feels like a soft breeze, a coastal afternoon, or a walk beneath sun-dappled trees. This is where a summer-inspired color scheme elevates the space from design to immersive. Begin with soft whites as your core. They act as both reflector and canvas, catching the sun's warmth and spreading it evenly across curved forms. Think off-white plaster walls, white linen slipcovers, or pale micro-cement finishes. In parametric design, these tones allow surfaces to blur and flow, making the geometry feel sculpted by light. Layer in sandy beige for depth and warmth. These are the grounding tones that remind us of beaches, dry paths, and sun-baked stone. Use them in flooring, cushions, ceramic planters, or built-in seating. In curved, continuous lines, beige becomes soft and enveloping, like being held inside a dune. Then come the accent tones, ocean blues and leafy greens. Blue introduces cool contrast. It pairs beautifully with organic shapes, calling to mind water, sky, and shadow. Whether in a gradient wall mural, a sculptural side chair, or glass decor, blue adds a calming rhythm to the space. Use varying saturations, from misty turquoise to deep Mediterranean cobalt, depending on your mood. Leafy greens, on the other hand, bring life. They're the chromatic expression of nature itself. You can introduce them through actual plants, more on that soon, but also through textiles, embroidered cushions, woven throws, or even abstract artwork inspired by foliage or tree canopies. In parametric form, green feels especially vibrant. It softens structure, bridging the boundary between built and organic. Lightwood finishes tie it all together. White oak, maple, or birch introduces grain and texture while maintaining the airiness of the palette. In CNC-cut or modular pieces, this material becomes sculptural yet grounded. Its golden undertones reinforce the sunlit feeling of summer without overpowering the room's serenity. When combined, these hues, white, beige, soft blue, leafy green, and natural wood, compose more than a palette. They form a seasonal ecosystem, a soft, cool, ever-evolving atmosphere where every color responds to light, form, and movement. In a parametric living room, summer isn't just seen, it's felt in every gradient, every reflection, every breath of color that rolls across the space like a breeze. Parametric design is known for its structure, but in summer interiors, structure meets softness. Textiles are the gentle counterpoint. They move with the air, shift with the light, and bring tactile comfort to a space that might otherwise feel too sculptural. In a summer-inspired parametric living room, lightweight fabrics become essential for maintaining both breathability and aesthetic harmony. Start with the most transformative, curtains. Swap out anything heavy or opaque for linen or sheer cotton drapery. These fabrics allow daylight to flood the room while diffusing harsh rays into a soft, golden glow. In a room defined by flowing curves and reflective surfaces, the gentle sway of linen brings a dynamic softness that echoes the design's organic rhythm. Choose natural tones, off-white, sand, misty blue, to match the light tone palette and avoid visual weight. Cushions are next. Go for cotton, washed linen, or bamboo blends, fabrics that breathe easily and resist summer heat. Their texture adds depth without bulk, and when arranged along curved seating, they become part of the architectural composition. Mix in tactile variety, a loose-knit cushion beside a tightly woven one, a smooth sateen against a raw cotton weave. In parametric rooms, texture tells a story of contrast and continuity. Woven throws and lightweight blankets serve both function and visual interest. Draped over modular furniture or gently folded on fluid side tables, they soften transitions and invite interaction. Go for open weave patterns, hand-woven or loom-inspired, that add a touch of craftsmanship to an otherwise digital landscape. Neutral tones or soft botanical dyes work best, letting the material shine through without competing for attention. Even rugs play a role here. Avoid thick, winter weight options and choose flatweave or natural fiber rugs like jute, sisal, or seagrass. Their raw textures complement wood finishes and echo nature's presence underfoot. In a parametric context, even rugs can follow the flow, custom shaped to match curved furniture lines or overlaid in layers that guide movement through the space. Finally, think about how textiles move. Parametric interiors are about more than form, they're about response. A linen curtain lifted by a breeze, a cushion slightly askew after use, a soft throw catching the afternoon light, all of these small changes animate the room. They make it feel lived in, seasonal, and deeply human. In summer, where air and light are always in motion, lightweight textiles become more than accessories, they are atmosphere makers. They whisper, shimmer, and soften. They weave comfort into form, and in doing so, they complete the sensory experience of the parametric summer living room. No summer-inspired interior is complete without a connection to nature, and in parametric spaces, this connection becomes sculptural, immersive, and alive. Indoor plants and organic materials ground the fluid forms of parametric design in the real textures of the earth. They bring vitality, irregularity, and softness to an otherwise algorithmic structure. In summer, they do more than decorate, they breathe life into the architecture. Let's begin with plants. These are the living counterparts to the flowing lines and curved surfaces of a parametric room. Choose species that mirror or complement the organic geometry around them. Fiddle leaf figs, bird of paradise, and monstera offer broad, arching leaves that visually echo undulating walls or sculpted furniture. Meanwhile, ferns, pothos, and trailing philodendron bring a sense of lightness, allowing foliage to cascade from elevated shelves or modular dividers like a green waterfall. Incorporate plants at multiple heights and layers. Floor-standing pots can anchor corners. Wall-mounted planters or built-in niches integrate greenery directly into the architectural rhythm. And don't forget hanging planters, especially in double-height areas or above curved seating. These vertical elements reinforce flow and create a canopy-like sense of intimacy within an open-plan space. Now consider organic materials as structural texture. Bamboo is lightweight, sustainable, and versatile, ideal for screens, lighting fixtures, or paneling that follows the contours of a parametric wall. Its natural striations add linear contrast to curving forms, while its warm hue reinforces the summer palette. Rattan offers another tactile element, perfect for accent chairs, side tables, or decorative inserts in cabinet faces. It brings a hand-woven quality that softens even the most futuristic form. And because it's semi-translucent and breathable, it keeps the space feeling open and summery. Natural stone, especially in honed or matte finishes, can anchor the room. Consider using travertine, limestone, or soapstone for tabletops, plinths, or built-in seating. Their subtle variation in tone and texture adds a quiet, earthy richness, like the scent of warm stone in the sun. Curving a piece of stone into a functional form, like a sweeping bench or crescent console, reinforces the parametric language while celebrating the material's natural beauty. Finally, combine materials to create biophilic tension. Place a leafy plant beside a polished concrete column. Set a woven rattan chair against a CNC-cut wooden wall. Let green fronts brush against a white plaster curve. These contrasts highlight the organic within the digital, the wild within the controlled. In a summer parametric living room, indoor plants and natural materials aren't just design elements, they are reminders. They remind us to stay rooted, to slow down, to coexist. They reconnect digital precision with organic spontaneity and give the room a pulse that beats in rhythm with the season. If parametric design gives us the language of fluid geometry, biophilic design gives us the emotion behind it. It's not just about bringing nature indoors, it's about designing environments that reconnect us to the rhythms, textures, and serenity of the natural world. When these two principles, parametric and biophilic, merge, the result is a living room that doesn't just look beautiful, it feels nourishing, instinctive, and whole. At its core, biophilic design focuses on the human desire to experience nature in built spaces. It leverages visual patterns found in natural systems, branching trees, rippling water, cellular structures, and translates them into architecture and decor. Parametric design naturally excels here because of its ability to generate organic, non-linear forms that mimic nature's complexity. Think of a ceiling structure inspired by leaf veining, an algorithmic pattern rendered in lightwood, stretching fluidly across the space like a canopy. Or a room divider shaped like coral or tree branches, CNC cut with parametric logic to filter light and shadow just like foliage does under the sun. What makes this approach powerful in summer is that it doesn't just imitate nature, it enhances your sensory connection to it. As natural light pours in, it interacts with these biomorphic shapes, creating ever-changing gradients, silhouettes, and reflections. You become aware of time, movement, and atmosphere in the same way you would outdoors. Materials reinforce this connection. Wood, stone, clay, and natural fibers act as tactile links to the earth. But it's not just about using natural's materials, it's about shaping them in ways that feel alive. A curved bamboo ceiling, a stone bench with undulating lines, or a rattan chair that wraps around your body like a nest, these aren't just furnishings, they're forms of shelter rooted in biology and emotion. Biophilic design also involves sensory depth. Not just what you see, but what you hear, feel, and even smell. Parametric forms amplify acoustics, directing sound in soft, rhythmic patterns. Textiles absorb ambient noise, making the room feel calmer. And with the addition of indoor plants or natural scents, like essential oils or herbal bundles, the space engages your entire nervous system. Above all, this integration of nature and fluid form changes how you feel. It lowers stress, boosts creativity, and deepens comfort. You're not just sitting in a well-designed room, you're immersed in a spatial experience that mirrors the environments we've evolved to thrive in. In summer, when we long for openness and connection, biophilic parametric design invites us to bring the outside in, not through imitation, but through deep structural harmony. It blurs the line between home and habitat, creating a living room that is less a container and more a continuation of the world outside. In a parametric summer living room, light doesn't just arrive from windows, it emanates from within. Once the sun sets or softens, artificial lighting takes over the role of sculpting space. But in keeping with the philosophy of fluid design, lighting here isn't bold or rigid, it's subtle, ambient, and architectural. It guides mood, shapes experience, and emphasizes form without ever drawing too much attention to itself. The first and most transformative tool? Hidden LED strips. These are integrated lighting systems embedded directly into the architecture, tucked behind floating shelves, along the underside of curving furniture, or recessed into wall grooves and ceiling panels. Instead of spotlighting objects, they wash surfaces with gentle illumination, revealing the room's sculptural qualities like moonlight on water. This kind of indirect lighting enhances the parametric aesthetic. It outlines curves, exaggerates contours, and makes furniture appear to float. A modular sofa lit from beneath becomes a glowing object, detached from the floor. A wave-shaped bookshelf with backlighting casts poetic shadows on the wall behind it, transforming everyday storage into performance. Curved floor lamps add a second layer of organic light. Unlike angular lamps or rigid fixtures, these pieces feel like extensions of the architecture itself, fluid arcs of metal, wood, or resin that rise gracefully and dip to cast pools of warm glow. Place one beside a lounge chair to define a reading nook, or use several throughout the space to build a rhythm of soft visual punctuation. Look for designs that mirror natural forms, lamps shaped like reeds, arcs, or water droplets, for instance. These don't disrupt the spatial flow, they enhance it. When the room is designed around continuous motion and seamless surfaces, lighting should follow suit, guiding the eye gently from one zone to the next. In terms of color temperature, opt for warm white or dimmable lighting. Ideally in the 2700K to 3000K range. This mimics the quality of late afternoon light, which feels especially comforting in summer interiors. Too cool a tone can flatten organic textures, too bright a source can overpower the calm ambience. The goal is a glow, not a glare. For maximum effect, combine layers, indirect LEDs, curved floor lamps, perhaps a sculptural pendant or wall sconce that doubles as an art piece. Let each source contribute to the overall choreography of light, moving from shadow to shimmer to gentle wash. In parametric interiors, lighting is not decoration, it's dialogue. It speaks to the forms it touches, reveals them slowly, and adds depth after daylight fades. It creates a kind of evening poetry, where architecture becomes more than visible, it becomes emotional. In a summer parametric living room, lighting isn't just functional, it's emotional architecture. It dictates how a space feels at any given hour, shaping your experience through shadow, glow, and contrast. The secret to mastering this lies in balancing two key lighting types, ambient and directional. Together, they animate the space, echoing the natural rhythms of the day and supporting the interior's flowing, organic language. Let's start with ambient lighting. This is your foundational glow, the general illumination that sets the tone of the room. In parametric interiors, ambient light is best when it's indirect and diffused. It doesn't flatten the room with even brightness, instead, it gently reveals contours, softens transitions, and fills the space with a calming luminosity. Achieve this with cove lighting, hidden LED strips, or pendant lights with frosted diffusers. Even ceiling curves can incorporate seamless light paths, casting soft washes down sculptural walls. The key is that the source remains invisible. What you perceive is the effect, not the fixture. This respects the purity of form in parametric design while fostering a summer-appropriate sense of airiness and ease. Then comes directional lighting. These are beams of focused light that highlight key elements, art pieces, textured surfaces, reading corners, or even architectural gestures like a curved column or 3D panel. Use spotlights, wall washers, or adjustable floor lamps to provide these accents, but keep them strategically placed and never overpowering. Directional light in this context is not theatrical, it's selective storytelling. The beauty of directional lighting in parametric spaces lies in its ability to sculpt shadows. When a beam glances across a ridged surface or grazes the side of a flowing shelf, it emphasizes the room's geometry. It creates chiaroscuro, movement, and texture. This depth is what turns a space from static to sensory. To truly embrace the summer mood, let the two lighting types shift throughout the day. In the morning, allow natural light to lead. As afternoon softens into evening, let ambient lighting fill the room with a golden calm. After sunset, allow directional fixtures to take over, guiding the eye, offering intimacy, and creating visual rhythm across walls and furnishings. Also consider smart lighting systems or dimmable setups, which give you control over intensity and color temperature. A space that feels breezy and bright in the afternoon can transform into a moody, reflective haven at night, all with the slide of a control or the rhythm of a timer. In essence, ambient and directional lighting function like the yin and yang of illumination. One expands the room, the other deepens it. One calms, the other energizes. And when they work in tandem within a parametric framework, they transform the living room into a space that breathes with time. Mimicking the sky, honoring the architecture, and inviting you to slow down and stay a while. In a parametric summer living room, decor isn't simply added to the space, it is part of the spatial logic. Every object is chosen not just for beauty, but for how it contributes to movement, fluidity, and emotional resonance. At the heart of this are statement pieces, bold yet graceful accents that embody the same organic forms and dynamic qualities as the room itself. Let's begin with parametric sculptures. These can range from large-scale installations that define a corner of the room to tabletop pieces that act as organic punctuation marks. Think layered plywood sculptures shaped like coral blooms, or 3D printed forms that spiral upward in perfect, data-driven rhythm. Their beauty lies in both precision and imperfection, digitally crafted, yet emotionally evocative. When placed in natural light or highlighted by a soft directional beam, these forms cast kinetic shadows that shift and stretch throughout the day. Next, introduce fluid-shaped vases and vessels. These decorative pieces aren't confined to symmetry or static form. Instead, they feel poured, twisted, or pulled by wind, like a piece of nature frozen in motion. Choose glass that ripples like water, ceramics with irregular organic rims, or resin castings that appear in mid-splash. These accents work beautifully on low tables, floating shelves, or curved mantels, where their shape can echo nearby architectural curves. Wall art in a parametric summer interior should do more than decorate, it should move. Not literally, but perceptually. Abstract works that explore gradient color transitions, flowing lines, or topographic patterns reinforce the visual language of the room. Consider digital prints, textile installations, or laser-cut panels that respond to the same logic of curves and layering. These can even be custom designed using parametric software to mirror the geometry of surrounding elements. For a softer approach, consider mobiles or suspended art pieces that shift with airflow. In a space defined by natural light and organic form, a mobile that gently turns in the breeze becomes not just art, but part of the atmosphere, blurring the boundary between object and environment. Even functional objects can double as statement pieces. A coffee table carved like a wave, a light fixture that spirals like smoke, or a planter that blooms into the room, these aren't just accents, they are gestures. They reinforce the room's character without overwhelming it. When choosing these statement items, think of them as echoes. Each one should feel like a small reverberation of the room's larger parametric language. Not matching, but related. Not decorative in isolation, but harmonized with the space's flow, texture, and tone. In summer, when the light is long and the air is still, these forms animate the stillness. They catch the eye, anchor the spirit, and provide a sense of depth that transcends season or style. Parametric statement pieces don't shout, they whisper movement into stillness and invite the viewer to look twice, and then again. In parametric interiors, every curve has intention. Every line moves with purpose. So when it comes to decor, the goal is not to decorate in the traditional sense, it's to extend the flow, to support the movement, and to echo the softness embedded in the architecture. The wrong piece can feel like a speed bump in an otherwise fluid environment. The right one? It disappears into the rhythm, subtly elevating the entire room. To achieve this harmony, begin by avoiding anything that feels too boxy, sharp, or rigid. Square frames, hard-edged furniture, or angular decor pieces tend to interrupt the organic logic of parametric form. Instead, opt for pieces with soft silhouettes, rounded edges, and a sense of quiet motion. Even a simple ottoman should feel like it belongs to the same family of curves as the nearby sofa or built-in alcove. Textures and finishes should also reflect softness. Matte ceramics, brushed metals, smooth woods, and hand-woven textiles help keep the tone understated and natural. Glossy or highly reflective finishes can be used, but sparingly, as accents to highlight curves or bounce light, not as dominating surfaces. When it comes to wall decor, skip the crowded gallery wall in favor of fewer, more intentional pieces. A single oversized artwork with gradient tones or a topographic relief sculpture can mimic the movement of the room and serve as a continuation of the spatial narrative. Or, for a more subtle approach, use wall hangings made of natural fiber, like jute, cotton, or linen, that bring texture and rhythm without adding weight. Functional accessories should follow the same ethos. Choose trays, bowls, and storage pieces that appear carved or mold rather than manufactured. A resin catch-all dish that curves like a leaf, or a wooden tray with a wave-like profile, supports the aesthetic of seamless, flowing design. Color, too, should integrate rather than dominate. If the room is based in soft whites, sand tones, and leafy greens, then a vivid red or stark black object will feel jarring unless it's placed with extreme purpose. Instead, select hues that already exist in your palette: oceanic blues, muted terracottas, pale sage, or sunlight golds, and distribute them like whispers throughout the space. Another tip: leave negative space. Parametric design thrives on openness. Not every shelf needs to be filled. Not every surface demands an object. Sometimes, the most powerful design move is restraint, letting the sculptural form of the room breathe without being cluttered. Ultimately, the decor should feel as though it emerged from the space, not as if it was added to it. Each element should mirror the fluidity of the architecture, reinforce the natural rhythm, and honor the integrity of the design. In a parametric summer living room, this cohesion is what turns styling into serenity, where even the smallest object seems to have found its perfect, peaceful place in the flow. As we step back and take in the entirety of a parametric summer living room, it becomes clear, this isn't just a space, it's an experience. A sanctuary sculpted not with rigidity, but with rhythm. It's a home that breathes with the season, flowing like the wind that slips through linen curtains, glowing like late afternoon sunlight across a curved wall, and grounding you in a place that feels both futuristic and deeply human. Parametric design offers more than aesthetic appeal. It changes how we interact with our environment. It encourages us to move slowly, to trace the arcs of the space with our eyes, to sit a little longer where light pools on the floor. In summer, this sensitivity to form and atmosphere becomes even more profound. The organic shapes mimic the natural world, while open layouts and light materials invite the season inside. Through natural light, reflective surfaces, and a light tone palette, the living room becomes luminous. Through biophilic design, organic materials, and thoughtful greenery, it becomes alive. And through curved furniture, sculptural decor, and intentional lighting, it becomes immersive, drawing you into a world of seamless transitions and quiet comfort. There is no beginning or end in this kind of space, only flow. The room adapts to you as much as you adapt to it. It's not static. It's not staged. It's a living form, shaped by light, movement, and feeling. That's the true beauty of parametric design in summer. It becomes a dialogue between architecture, nature, and emotion. So whether you're reclining beneath a skylight, arranging a vase that mimics the shape of a river stone, or simply watching the light ripple across your CNC-carved shelf, you are participating in something greater. You're not just decorating, you're curating an experience. one that embraces the season, honors natural flow, and celebrates the art of living well. Welcome to your parametric summer sanctuary. A living room where form follows feeling, and every curve tells a story.